Good evening. The evening news. President Bola Tinubu has introduced two new welfare programs targeting education workers and retirees with emphasis placed on the funding structure and execution. A statement from the presidency confirmed that the schemes will be funded through a mix of budgetary allocations and targeted program funds with oversight from relevant ministries to Staff Support Fund, which was announced in July this year to provide loans for lecturers and non-academic staff in Nigerian universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education. According to the presidency, the facility is intended to cover personal, housing, and family-related expenses at lower borrowing costs than commercial bank rates. The second initiative, revealed this month, offers free health care to low-income retirees under the contributory pension scheme. The government stated that the program would eliminate out-of-pocket payments for eligible pensioners, allowing them to access treatment without incurring direct charges at designated health facilities. The Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Ahmed Dangiwa, has said that the federal government is collaborating with the World Bank and states to implement land reforms. Dangiwa said the move is aimed at unlocking the potential of Nigeria's landed assets through the National Land Titling Registration and Documentation Program held in Abuja. According to him, the federal government will continue to collaborate with the state governments to address the challenges in the areas of registration, documentation, and titling of all lands. Dangiwa also explained that it is based on this that the ministry is scheduled to host a workshop to be hosted by Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, adding that they will partner with the state governments to tackle the challenges in terms of registration, documentation, and titling of lands. He also noted that the ministry is working with the World Bank in this direction. The Nigeria Police Force has remained silent on how it plans to enforce the directive of vehicle owners to obtain or regularize their tinted glass permits, with just 2 days to 12 this month deadline, making motorists anxious and uncertain. It would be recalled that the renewed focus on tinted glass permits dates back to May 1st this year, when the police reactivated their digital tinted glass permit platform after years of public complaints about abuse, extortion, and arbitrary arrests linked to tinted windows. First Public Relations Officer ACP Olumuyiwa Adejobi stressed in a statement at the time that enforcement would begin once the grace period expired, and warned officers against harassment or extortion during enforcement. The platform, according to the force, is meant to enhance transparency, make the application process easier, and strengthen national security, particularly in curbing crimes where tinted vehicles are used to conceal occupants' identities. However, following widespread public feedback about application bottlenecks and accessibility issues, including complaints from motorists in rural areas and those without internet access, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, extended the grace period from May 1st to 12th of this month, intending to make the process more citizen-friendly. Now, with the deadline just 48 hours away, the absence of updated guidelines on post-deadline enforcement is fueling fresh concern. Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu says the well-being of Nigerians remains a top priority for the federal government. Mrs. Tinubu, represented by the wife of Lagos State Deputy Governor Oluremi Hamzat, gave the assurance after receiving a chieftaincy title of Iyaoba of Ikorodu in Lagos State. The honor was bestowed upon her by the traditional ruler of Ikorodu, Oba Kabir Shotobi, at Ikorodu. Mrs. Tinubu said that she was fully aware of the cultural significance of the honor praising Shotobi's good leadership over the past decade. In his remarks, Deputy Senate President Jibrin Barau stated that the traditional ruler had provided impactful leadership, bringing many Ikorodu indigenes to national prominence. Honorable Barau commended Shotobi for inclusive leadership and transforming Ikorodu from a rural community to a business hub. Also, the Oni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi, praised Shotobi for impactful leadership and expressed gratitude to President Bola Tinubu for his administration's reforms and its renewed O agenda. Governments of Oyo, Ogun, and Kwara states have put in place proactive measures to mitigate the impact of flooding following predictions by the Nigerian Meteorological Agency of possible heavy rainfall in parts of the country. The state government said that public sensitization, infrastructural interventions, and multi-agency coordination had been prioritized to reduce disaster risk in flood-prone areas starting tomorrow. Report says NIMET had forecasted increased rainfall and potential flooding in several states between July and this month, urging governments to implement preventive actions. Operations Officer of the Oyo State Emergency Management Agency, Mr. Daniel Ajayi, said the agency had collaborated with relevant stakeholders to ensure an effective response system, adding that continuous sensitization campaigns were ongoing via radio, television, marketplaces, and public areas. In Ogun State, the Commissioner for Environment, Mr. Ola Oresoya, said the government had begun its annual flood preparedness campaign since March this year, following NIMET's prediction. Also, the Kwara State government has advised residents to stay alert in anticipation of heavy rains, accompanied by lightning and thunderstorm. Now from sports, United States-based former Nigerian international Patience Odili has revealed that President Bola Tinubu may soon host the United X Super Falcons at the Presidential Villa in Abuja as part of efforts to honor the team's historic contributions to Nigerian football. Speaking on behalf of the group, Odile disclosed that the chairman of the National Sports Commission, Malam Shehu Diko, and the Director General, Honorable Bukola Olapadi, have given assurances that the matter is receiving the attention of the presidency. The former Super Falcons forward emphasized that the contributions of our generation laid the foundation for the present successes enjoyed by current players. Odile, however, said adequate compensation by the president for the honors they brought to Nigeria in their active years, which past governments failed to recognize, should be considered. And now from the foreign scene, Chad's former Prime Minister and opposition leader, Success Masra, has been sentenced to 20 years in prison for disseminating racist and xenophobic messages that incited violence. Masra, who was Prime Minister between January and May last year, is the head of the Transformers Party and a sharp critic of Chad's current president, Mahamat Deby. He was accused, alongside 67 co-defendants, mostly from the same Gambaye ethnic group, of causing a clash between herders and farmers in May in Logone Occidental, in the southwest of the Central African country, which left 35 people dead and 6 others injured. Mashra has denied the charges against him, which include hate speech, xenophobia, and having incited a massacre. Following the ruling at a court in the Chadian capital, Jamena, defense lawyer Kadjemila Francis told newsmen that Mashra would appeal his sentence. Mashra, before leaving the courtroom, however, told his supporters to stand firm. That ends the evening news on OSBC TV. Join us at 7 for Dateline. Thanks for watching. Good evening.